Will you continue to date an abusive rich man? Yes or no? Let me know your answer in the comment section. The attic smelled of dust and old memories. Maya brushed away cobwebs from a wooden chest. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside, under old lace and yellow letters, she found a diary. Its leather cover was cracked and worn. She opened it and read the first line. I promise to love him forever, but forever feels like a prison. Maya's heart raced. The handwriting was her grandmother's, but the words felt like they were meant for her. She turned the page, her hands trembling. With every word, she felt her own life closing in. The diary wasn't just old, it was a mirror of her own pain. Outside, the wind howled, shaking the attic window. Maya's phone buzzed. It was a text from Ryan, her fiancé. He used to make her feel special. Now, his messages felt heavy, like chains around her neck. She looked at the diary again, her hands still shaking. I promise to love him forever. Tears filled Maya's eyes. She had made the same promise. And now, like her grandmother, she was asking herself, is forever worth the price? Love. Ryan was everything Maya wanted. He was handsome, successful, and made her feel like the most important person in the world. Everyone loved him. Even her mom said, he's a keeper. But fairy tales don't always have happy endings. At first, Ryan's comments seemed small. Your friends don't really care about you, he'd say. Or, you should dress more elegantly. Maya thought he was just looking out for her. But then he started isolating her. He didn't like her talking to friends. He wanted to know where she was all the time. Slowly, her world got smaller and smaller until it was just Ryan. Ryan's control got worse. He checked her phone. He criticized her spending. If she tried to argue, he'd say, I only want what's best for you. Maya started to doubt herself. Maybe he was right. Maybe she was overreacting. Then one night, everything changed. Maya had been working on a secret freelance project. It was her way of feeling independent again. But when Ryan found out, he exploded. You don't need this, he yelled. Then he grabbed her laptop and smashed it against the wall. Maya froze. The screen was shattered. And so was she. Eleanor was only 17 when she married Thomas. He was rich and respected, but behind closed doors, he was cruel. He treated her like property, not a person. Eleanor endured his insults and coldness. He never hit her, but his words hurt just as much. He'd lock her in the house, control her money, and ignore her for days. Her only escape was her diary. In its pages, she wrote the truth she couldn't say out loud. One day, Eleanor met Margaret, a kind neighbor. Margaret saw how unhappy Eleanor was. You don't have to stay, she whispered. For the first time, Eleanor thought about leaving. But Thomas found out. He locked her away and cut her off from the world. That night, Eleanor wrote her last diary entry. I made a promise to love him, but I owe myself a promise too, to survive. Maya sat in the attic, holding her grandmother's diary. She realized she was living the same story. If she stayed with Ryan, she'd end up like Eleanor, trapped and broken. But if she left, could she do it? That night, Maya packed a bag. When Ryan came home, she stood tall. I'm leaving, she said. Ryan laughed. You won't survive without me. Maya's hands shook, but her voice was steady. You don't get to define me anymore. I'm not her. I'm not staying. She walked out the door and didn't look back. Maya moved in with a friend. She started therapy and slowly rebuilt her life. One day, she opened Eleanor's diary again. In the blank space at the end, she wrote, I broke the promise. And I kept one too, to myself. Maya found out her grandmother had secretly helped other women escape abusive marriages. She left money to support them. Maya decided to honor her grandmother's courage. She started a non-profit called Eleanor's Promise to help women like her find safety and hope. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Zat Studios for more amazing African true stories. See you in the next video.